Hello everyone, this is Mike from BTR Budget Tech Reviews here, and today is the first review video of the 2015 Moto G. Okay guys, so here is the 2015 3rd gen Motorola Moto G. Now let's get started off with the physical features. I've had this phone for a couple days, and first of all, this phone is not a heavy phone. It's pretty light in the hands, but it's heavy enough to feel like it's a solid phone, guys. Now when I say that I mean it feels heavy. It feels heavy and it feels light. It's a mixture of in between for me. So that's one thing that I want to let you guys know, that it's heavy. Second of all is it comes with colored skin shells or battery covers in the back. So if you guys want to switch colors on this while making the actual phone, you just go to the Motorola website, and like for instance, mine is white with a cherry red color in the back. And if you can see here, I don't know if you guys can see this, I put this in the unboxing video, but it actually says Budget Tech right there. So I think that's pretty cool that you can kind of get it customized to have a little name on it. If you lose your phone, at least you know it's yours, right? But anyway, all around this thing is plastic. It's a very plasticky feeling phone. So I feel like the second generation Moto G, last year's version, felt like it was built a little better as far as all around goes, but this phone has not disappointed me in the couple days that I've had it. Now the back cover isn't one of those fingerprint magnets like we normally see. I don't know if we can get that on camera, but it has a texture to the back. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's a very nice texture. Phone feels really good when you grip it in the hand. And all around, although it looks like a silver trim, it's just kind of like a plastic silver lining. Now, of course, you can get this in black in the front or white in the front, and you can actually customize these colors as well to different colors on the Moto Maker. So I think that's one great thing about this new version of this phone, is that you can customize it to make it your own, basically, because everybody has an iPhone out there, and you get the white, the space gray, the gold, and the silver. That's it. Well, these come in a variety of colors. You can get black, white, turquoise blue, a lot like a neon green, orange, etc. So you're not going to be just stuck with this. And of course, you can always replace the back cover if you choose to. So going along with back to the physical features, though, on the side you have your power button and your volume rockers. Of course, that's Motorola's trademark when it comes to that. On the top, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack, your noise-canceling mic, and on the bottom, you have your micro USB charging port. Now, this little indention here allows you to open up the back cover here, and as you can see here, non-removable back battery, gives you the model number, etc. Here's your 13-megapixel camera, which I'll get into more detail later on, and of course, your slots for your micro SD card slot and your micro SD card slot would be right here, and your SIM card slot, which would be right here on the top left corner. So it does have expandable memory. All right, and let's get this phone turned on. Aside from going back to physical features, your phone does come with a 5-inch display, and let me get that unlocked here. Beautiful 5-inch display. Your resolution is 720 by 1280, so not full HD, but not a bad looking screen either, as you can see here. Very bright and vivid. I do not even have the screen brightness set all the way up. I have it right there, guys, as you can see there. So if I put it all the way up, this thing's going to get bright, and it's probably going to change the way my camera's looking at this this picture here. But anyways, going back to the screen size, it's a 5-inch screen. I feel like this is the perfect size for me, because the last phone I had was the LG G4, and that phone just seemed too big for me. I don't want to get into details, but I've also had the Nexus 6, and that was a 6-inch phone, 6-inch screen phone. And to be honest, I have average size hands. I don't have monster gigantic hands, and I feel like if I'm able to put I put this one on vibrate. I feel like I'm able to put my finger all the way around like that. It's easy to use with just your thumb, etc. So going back though, the screen is 294 pixels per inch, which means well, basically it's the screen density and how tight and how squeezed the pixels are put together. So you're not going to really see anything bad on the screen. Actually, it's just a very pretty screen in general, and I really like what Motorola is doing with their budget phones, because I don't feel like I'm holding a budget phone, considering the base model is starts at $179.99. So another great feature about this phone is it is water resistant, guys. Now, what does water resistant means? It means that you can dunk this in water for probably a good 30 seconds and it'll still come out of the water working. So if you have any of those accidents where you're by the pool or you're sitting on the toilet, as gross as that sounds, you will be able to still use this phone and it'll still be able to be functional after you dip it into water to a certain degree. So I don't think I'm going to test dunk this phone, so don't think that that's going to happen, guys. But going from there, this phone excuse me, this phone will go with the Android internals here. It's running basically stock Android. It doesn't really come with a lot of bloatware either. Basic Motorola apps like the FM radio, and what else? I have downloaded some apps since I've downloaded this, but it's got a help app, so you can use that. It's got migrate, so you can migrate your stuff from your old phone, which makes it a little easier, makes the transition easier. And then the Moto help, which teaches you about some new features, which I haven't really gotten too much into, but we'll get into that. And as you can see here, I have quadrant standard, so I will be running a benchmark later on in the second video, of course. But going back to that, this phone right here is sporting a 1.4 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 processor, excuse me. I'm getting tongue-tied here, guys. I'm so excited to review this phone for you. And this phone is a quad-core processor, and it's running a Adreno 306 graphics processor. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. My tongue is a little tied. But anyway, going back, this phone does come in two different variants. You can get the base model, which is 8 gigabytes of internal memory and 1 gig of RAM, or you can upgrade for $40 extra and get 2 gigs of RAM with 16 gigs of internal memory. Now, $40 is kind of much. At first I thought this was an upgrade of 32 gigs. I'm not too sure why. I don't know if when I ordered the phone that I saw 32 gigs on the order, but I really thought that the extra model, the 2 gig model, was going to come with 32 gigs of internal memory. So excuse if you saw my unboxing video, I might have mentioned 32 gigs, but it's actually only 16 gigs of an upgrade when you pay the $40 extra. So going from there, of course, if you want to pay the $5, you can get the engraving like I did on that. If you want to pay an extra $5, of course, but that's not too bad. Of course, you can, you have the option, aside from the option, you do have the option of putting a micro SD card in there, which, of course, does expand the memory even more for you guys that are battery hogs, etc. And going from there, I want to talk about the front-facing camera here. The front-facing camera does have a 5 megapixel camera, so they are upgrading the front-facing camera for it to look better. So I'm going to get more into the camera in the second video, guys. So just so you know, I don't want to get too much into the cameras right now, because I haven't taken a lot of pictures with this, and I've used it with apps such as Snapchat, Instagram, etc. But I really want to test the features of this, in different lightings, like, nighttime, daytime. So when I get a day off from work, I'm going to actually go out, test the video and pictures of this camera, and I'm actually going to post that in my second review video. So on the back is a 13 megapixel camera, guys, and it does record 1080p at 30 frames per second. So if you want to take good video with this, you can actually take full HD video with this. But not to insult this phone at all, because I think this is a great phone, but anything above 13 megapixels should be running 4K video. I'm not too sure why this camera itself isn't able to record 4K video, but maybe we'll see that in the next Motorola Moto G in the next year's model, etc. So, but big deal about this phone actually having the upgrade of RAM, because you can feel the difference between 1 gig and 2 gigs of RAM, and the fact that this phone does have a 64-bit processing system makes it feel so much snappier, just because you want that snappy feel to it. I mean, apps are really easy to get into. I can just go from app to app, as you can see here. I got Instagram going on, and of course, you know, if you want to skip from Instagram, you can get on Facebook, and I can actually go to my Budget Tech Review page. Here we go, guys. Follow me on Facebook via Budget Tech Reviews. Just look it up and like my page. So far, I have 269 likes, and I would not mind if you guys would, if you were the next one to like that, to like my page. I want to, you know, have 1,000 likes within the next year. Basically, I want to improve on my Facebook page and my Google Plus page, of course. So if you guys aren't following me or liking my pages, please do so. I do other reviews, but anywho, this thing does run Bluetooth 4.0 as well. Let's see, it's running LTE right now. I'm actually running on T-Mobile's LTE network. Let me see if I can get that. So this phone does have LTE, and it runs on the 800 band 20, 900 band 8, and it does have HSPA and HSUPA, which are like basically the older 4G and 3G versions of, you know, the networks. If you go with AT&T or Metro or T-Mobile, etc., you know, you're going to get, sometimes in some areas, instead of LTE, you might see the letter H up here, which doesn't really necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means that the service area is always different, of course. So, going from there, guys, excuse me, I have a cough. Well, I don't really have a cough, but anyway, so far I've had this phone for a couple days, and I am not disappointed with it at all. Now I'm going to try to get another video. Next video will be, of course, gaming, camera, and possibly some final thoughts. Maybe some app usage. I want to really test the speakers on this thing, so I'll actually get maybe you know, that in the video as well, testing out the sound of these two speakers. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and as always, please subscribe.